Saturday Night Football.
In the Coca-Cola Championship, it is Nottingham Forest against Norwich, live from the City Ground on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. That's channel 408.
Thank you, George. Hello again, everyone. Well, Forest are unchanged for the third game in a row. Their penalty-saving goalkeeper, Lee Camp, had a short spell with Norwich 2 years ago. Midfield player Chris Cohen was actually born in the city of Norwich, and his fellow midfield player James Perch was for a time on schoolboy forms with Norwich City. The average age of this side is just 22. Gleen Roeder rings the changes after last weekend's lapses at home to Swansea. Elliot Omazusi, on loan from Fulham, is brought back at right back. Winger Lee Croft is healthy again after illness. He's part of a midfield reshuffle, which sees Wes Houlihan come in as an attacking force in that area, alongside Sammy Clingan, who only joined Norwich from Forest in the summer. Well, as you've heard, that late change to the Nottingham Forest bench, Adam Newbold comes in for Rob Earnshaw, who doesn't get the chance to get involved against one of his former clubs. Otsemabor, Fotheringham and Lupoli were in the starting 11 against Swansea. They're on the bench this evening. Let's hear from the Nottingham Forest manager, Colin Calderwood, with Greg Whelan.
Colin, other results this afternoon have left you bottom of the table. Sum up the importance of taking all 3 points tonight.
It just tightens that a little bit, but the boys are ready. We've prepared all week for this fantastic occasion. Saturday night, let's start a weekend.
You've just lost Rob Earnshaw in the warm-up. He was due to start on the bench. He's a goal scorer. How big a setback is that for you?
It obviously weakens us a bit, but we've got another young boy on the bench, and eventually it'll be a good experience for the future.
Colin, thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Gleen Roeder, good luck today. You've made a few changes. That to freshen up the team?
No, we made a few changes because one, we needed to, and two, we need to do better away from home in terms of performance. So looking for a lot better performance than we've given in our last couple of away games. But I think the boys are ready, and they certainly shown in the dressing room before kick-off how much they're looking forward to it.
Glenn, what was your final message to the players as you sent them out?
Well, to make sure no matter how fast Forest come out the blocks, and we've watched a lot of Forest, they play a high-tempo game. We must at least match that and get above it if we can, and get on top as early as we can in the game and not concede ground to Forest.
Thanks very much, Glenn.
Cheers, Joel. Thank you.
Well, Nottingham Forest on their best run of the season thanks to Lee Camp. Very late penalty saves at Derby from Barrowseat, and just a week ago at Bristol City from McIndoe. Well, because of that, Nottingham Forest are 4 games unbeaten, even though they have dropped to the bottom of the table with today's results. As for Norwich City, well, they haven't won in their last 4 and just taken for 1 point. And indeed, they have lost their last 4 away games on a very cold Saturday evening. Nottingham Forest attack the goal to the left in the first half, and Don Goodman. We've got a lot of tension here, but potentially we've got a lot of football as well.
Well, absolutely. There are 2 teams that really want to get the ball down and pass it wherever possible, but you're right, there's so much riding on this game. At the bottom end, at the wrong end of the table, and that's not really where either of these teams want to be, and Norwich particularly wouldn't have expected to be there. But you're right, 4 games unbeaten. That's happened without a win, sorry. That's happened 3 times already this season. They really have got to snap out of this.
These 2 clubs spent a total of 9 seasons between them in the Premier League. Both finished as high as 3rd, but return to the elite level for either seems a long way away at the moment. Avoiding a future in League One is a shared priority. Forest, of course, as Leroy Lita challenges them here. They're just back in the Championship after 3 seasons in the 3rd tier of English football. It's going to be interesting to see, with Houlihan getting into the box then, quite how this change of system by Gleen Roeder. He's not done it very often this season, just gone with 1 out-and-out striker. But Wes Houlihan's a good footballer. Not always easy to predict for the opposition, of course, but also for his teammates.
Well, there is that, I suppose, but saying, that's what Forest are going to look for, to get Tyson in behind. But Wes Houlihan's a clever player. He's good on the ball. You've got a player like that. It's about feeding him the ball at every opportunity.
Who's there for Sammy Clingan, who left on a Bosman in the summer. Croft with the cross in. Patterson missed it. And a great save by Camp, who came propelling himself out at David Bell. Gave Bell nothing to aim at in the end.
Absolutely outstanding goalkeeping, isn't it? As this ball comes through, Bell must think he's in there. Superb save by Camp.
There's a goalkeeper in form for you.
Absolutely. Just read the situation so well, didn't he? He was out so fast. High on confidence, the young man.
Let's go back to the year 2000 to find the last time that Norwich scored a league goal here at the City Ground, Nottingham. Well, they very nearly scored one in the opening moments.
They've started the game pretty well, haven't they?
He is left-footed, Chris Cohen, starting on the right for Forest. Thornhill going strongly. He's good in the air, and he was good then. Anderson trying to play it out unsuccessfully. Lee Camp's on loan here from Queen's Park Rangers. I think loan is a word we will mention a few times tonight, Don, because there are a lot of players being used in that system by both Colin Calderwood and by Gleen Roeder.
In this day and age, utilising your resources, isn't it? And clubs often need those loan players just to boost and bolster the squad.
Three of Norwich's back four are loanees. The exception is the captain tonight, Gary Doherty. Good for David Marshall, who was in the Scotland squad. The second goalkeeper didn't get on against Argentina. Here's Bell. Leiter, also on loan, of course, from Reading.
He's looking sharp already, isn't he? Leroy Leiter in the goals, full of confidence. He's got good movement. Certainly going to occupy Nottingham Forest, two central defenders here tonight.
Kennedy and Doherty have come up. Kennedy going towards the near post, so does the ball. Right in his area. Patterson going for it. Clingan has the shot. And switch of play by Cohen, and it's a good one. This is Paul Anderson. Well, Tyson went back when he might have taken it down and gone in. And the referee, we haven't mentioned him. There's a lot of young players on the pitch. We've got an extremely young referee in Michael Oliver, who had a problem before the game because one of his assistants also got injured, like Rob Earnshaw, and the fourth official was running the line on the far side, Rob Shoebridge.
Early opportunity, isn't it? Nottingham Forest to test David Marshall in that Norwich goal. I've already seen Lee Camp put under test.
Held in by Cohen. And the goalkeeper has to punch it away from Luke Chambers. Marshall. Cohen puts it back. Norwich not defending well here. Oh, the goalkeeper just snatched it. It was behind him and almost over the line.
It's quite a remarkable incident, isn't it? Nobody knew where the ball ended up, but once again it's poor defending by Norwich City. Gets hooked over there, gets a decent fist on it, but when this comes back in, well, where are the defenders? Lots of bodies in there. They get lucky, Norwich City. We heard Gleen Roeder complaining about the marking from set pieces last week.
Not just last week, pretty much all season. Yeah. Half the goals they've conceded, or virtually half, have come from set plays. If you take into account the fact that they've conceded 7 penalties.
Certainly an area that we've got to improve upon, isn't it?
Cohen. Garner waiting in the middle. Anderson there as well. Here's Tyson. A lovely playing surface here. And a night in which you certainly want to run around a bit. It's nippy.
With minimum requirement. It is absolutely freezing out there. Chris Cohen not happy with that decision. Assistant referee just yards away though.
Good on them. They call in his playing days Colin Calderwood the Fridge. It's a pretty good nickname for an evening like this.
It is for tonight.
I think that was down to his cool defending.
I think you're right. He's been pleased, hasn't he, with the progress his young team have made over the last 4 games.
There's a touch on towards Houlihan. They're not just young, they're Nottingham based as well in many examples, like Kelvin Wilson here and his fellow central defender Wes Morgan. The local lads, Thornhill as well. But it's not an ideological thing from Colin Calderwood, it's because he thinks they're the best young men for the job. And
he does. He spoke before the game about how he feels most of them are going to at least play at this level for most of their career, and a few of them he feels will go on and play in the Premier League too.
Morgan stopping Lita. Keep watchful in that respect tonight. Lita again. Bell moving on to the head of Morgan. Klingon getting in. Cohen, who did well to reclaim it. Garner. Stayed down after the challenge by Kennedy. Anderson.
It's a heavy challenge, a really heavy challenge by Kennedy. Nottingham Forest complaining to the referee. They feel that Kennedy led with his studs showing. The referee feels, well, wins the ball really, really cleanly. That's probably the saving grace, but not allowed to do that in this day and age, are you?
No, but Garner had the problem. The ball was running away from him, and you see players get themselves into difficulties, whether it's a bad tackle of their own or they get hurt because they're pursuing. It may be a heavy touch there. He thinks he can get it. Well, it was a bit of a jump,
but it's a jump in, both feet off the ground. And Kennedy, a saving grace for him is he gets all of the ball.
Yeah. Michael Oliver, to get sharp judgment at such a tender age. Well, he does get help from his dad, Clive, who incidentally will be 4th official on the Super Sunday second helping tomorrow at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland against West Ham. Very much a family business.
Yeah, absolutely. We do need some young referees to come through, don't we?
And we do need to support them.
We do. It's a tough, tough job at the best of times, but we've had a lot of incidents this season.
Well, Joe Garner, who's missed most of this season with an injury that he had when Forest signed him, which tells you how highly they rated him. Paid over £1 million for the young man who did start, as Peter Beagrie was saying, as a youngster at Blackburn Rovers, and then went to Carlisle to show that he could play in the adult game. Houlihan. A hesitation by Camp, and he read it rightly in the end because he realised Morgan was going to get there.
Yeah, left that to the big central defender who dealt with it very, very well, it has to be said.
Chambers trying to head on. Bell plays it forward for Norwich. It's been hard to predict. Good spells in games. Probably they should have a few more points than they've got. They're certainly better off than they were at this time last season when Gleen Roeder was brought in on a firefighting job and kept them up against probably the odds 12 months ago. Perch. So Heath, only his 5th first-team game. Harrison's gone to the near post. Here he is!
That was a great opportunity to open the scoring, isn't it? Everything about that, apart from the finish, is absolute perfection. Look at the space that Cohen finds here. Whips a great ball in. Tyson does right, gets across the near post. It's just his contact is just too full on. He's trying to glance that in, gets too much of the ball off target. What a chance.
He's the old fellow of the team, Nathan Tyson. He's 26.
I'm sure he'll love you for that.
They've got a very tight bond, these young Nottingham Forest players. A lot of them single lads. Colin Calderwood's put a tennis table in the facilities here at the ground where they change for training. They walk along the Trent just as they used to in the Brian Clough days. And they are very together. There's a lot of social togetherness as well as professional camaraderie. And they've got to show that works on the football field.
Absolutely, that's where it counts, and that's what it's all about.
Chambers, who came here from Colin Calderwood's previous club, Northampton. What we've got here's a very brisk beginning. Norwich with an early chance, and then Tyson with the most recent one for Nottingham Forest. Well played by Klingon, the Northern Ireland international. Cut head, you notice the plaster he's wearing, playing for Northern Ireland against Hungary on Wednesday. And Bertrand, it's a good ball. Drops for Patterson, who didn't connect cleanly. Croft put it back into the danger area.
Well, there's a good tempo to this game. Just very, very open, probably more open than either manager would really want it to be. Lots of spaces out there.
But both managers, I think, come here thinking we can win this game. We have to win this game if we can, but there really is a good chance. You know? Croft. Oh. Well, Camp could have been embarrassed, but responded.
Well, there's a big deflection here as this ball gets crossed. It takes a massive ricochet and it's heading in the goal, and he has to be so alert. And once again, outstanding goalkeeping from Lee Camp.
Well, they say Queen's Park Rangers don't want him back. They may have a different view on that, but Nottingham Forest hoping to extend his arrangements here. And Michael Oliver, the referee, spotting some pushing, but it's been two very agile moments already from Lee Camp, who of course started at nearby Derby County.
Yep, Derby County supporter, I think, growing up. Fully on board with Nottingham Forest, though. Absolutely outstanding he's been for them. Been an integral part of this unbeaten little run that they're on. And
Bertrand won his first under-21 cap on Tuesday as a substitute for Stuart Pearce. Latest victory. Patterson. Croft. Houlihan seeing where he wants it, but Croft had other ideas. It's good work by Tyson. Taken on by Cohen at pace. And a look to see what was on in the middle. Doherty had to be vigilant there because Garner was on the move. It was great work by Cohen at full tilt.
well, I wondered, being a left footer, whether he was going to put that in with his right foot. Didn't hesitate, did he? It's a decent ball, but Gary Doherty used all his experience to get that away.
And this is where Norwich have had their problems. They did better that time and play it away with a bit of style. Klingon. Style rather petered out at the end of the break, though.
Gleen Roeder's a bit animated down there. He's not happy with something. He wants to defend him from the set pieces still.
Klingon. Houlihan. Not time to settle. No one's getting much time to settle on the ball.
It's fast and frenetic, isn't it?
When you think about, we've got Forest with only one home win, and that was 3 months ago here against Watford. Norwich with just one success away from Carrow Road back in September at Plymouth. Good defending by Joe Heath, who is young but not local. He's from Liverpool. Patterson. Oh, there's a deflection. That's certainly worth the hit from a player who's still waiting for his first Norwich goal. He's done everything but score, they tell me.
Yeah.
Marks all over the goalposts up and down the country where he's hit them.
He'll think that his time has got to come soon, won't he?
Here's Cohen. Garner's there. It's Garner. Good stop by Marshall this time.
Well, chances are plenty, isn't there? Chances at both ends to open the scoring here.
Croft. Houlihan is a deft touch to his pass. Croft got to it. Camp didn't. Left it to Morgan wisely, but Croft is in again. The winger here who's played Premier League football for Manchester City against a rookie left back. It's played through by Houlihan on Mazusi.
Once again, it's a shame because it's good build-up play involving Croft and Omazusi, but Marshall keeps his team level, no doubt about it. Again, it's Cohen in the thick of the action here, does ever so well, spots Garner, it's a good strike. And Marshall, well, he gets down really smartly to his right-hand side. It's a good palm away as well, gets the ball away from goal.
Again. And Morgan goes cross, and the follow-up. Ryan Bertrand is way off the target.
You almost knew what was going to happen there, didn't you? Sprinting onto it.
Well, the goalkeepers are doing well, but I think in the end, one of the great truisms of football is you are as good as your goal getters.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the first one, Camp, out like a flash, and this is the second one, even better because he has to adjust so quickly to the deflection on the cross. Superb keeping.
Morgan. Good contingent of Norwich supporters who've come across from East Anglia. They woke up to snow on the ground this morning. Tyson through the middle. And Doherty catches him. Where is it? Penalty. And red card for Gary Doherty.
Well, once referee Michael Oliver decides that this is a foul in the first place, he's got absolutely no option but to send the Norwich skipper off. Tyson gets in between. Once he gets the toe, I mean, it's outside the box. He's got that decision absolutely right. There is contact. And Tyson would have been clean through. Goal scoring opportunity denied. It's the right decision.
Well, I said penalty, Tom, because the assistant on the far side put the flag across his chest.
Well, let's give...
And Michael Oliver saw it from closer quarters, and it's given as a free kick.
Let's give Michael Oliver credit. Many a referee would have definitely given that as a penalty.
Paul Anderson is going to step up here from the very edge. Oh, what a save from Thornhill by Marshall.
Well, that is another terrific save. Well worked, good strike, right in the corner. That's a brilliant save. Another one to add to what's becoming an increasingly long list.
Well, they've got to sacrifice a player, and it's Wes Houlihan for John Nottm who'll try and bolster things at the back with the dismissal of Doherty.
They're up against it now, aren't they, Norwich? Really up against it.
Heath. Norwich just hanging on as they get regrouping at the back, but Klingon brings it out. Croft. Here's Bell. Semafor, another deflection on the cross. Bell uses some strength here. And Patterson scores for Norwich. Down to 10 men, but what a response. And Patterson breaks his duck for the club at the most appropriate time.
Well, I'll tell you what, this comes from a Nottingham Forest corner. They break so quickly, Norwich. They do ever so well. It's super play in the end. We said for Patterson it was only a matter of time. I mean, that's not the best cross, but it's dealt with really poorly at the near post. Then Bell does well, digs a cross out, and that is a brilliant finish. There are bodies in the way. He sticks to the task and he hits the target, Matty Patterson. Good technique, hit the target and get your rewards. It's super play. Bell does so well to dig that ball out. But Patterson, credit to him, because Norwich have committed bodies forward, even though they're down to 10 men.
Well, he started at Newcastle United, where Gleen Roeder actually gave him his debut. Young boy from South Africa. Hey, Anderson. Nottingham Forest, a man up, but a goal down. Well, no wonder he was celebrating, but he's got a booking for it.
Well, that's where the human touch needs to come in for me. Not sure deserve a booking for that kind of a celebration. First senior goal.
Did you get booked for celebrating?
I think you were allowed to do anything when I was playing, to be fair.
Anderson.
And how important could that save from David Marshall be just before? Absolutely outstanding from the free kick. Wouldn't you know, Norwich get up the other end and score a goal. I felt that the first goal in this game could be crucial as well. Norwich have got it with 10 men.
Yeah, and it's their first in 5 visits to the City Ground in the league. I mean, that's football, expect the unexpected.
Absolutely.
Especially in this division.
Especially in this division. It's about how Forest respond now, isn't it? You know, they were playing okay, they were doing all right. Just got to keep a positive mentality. There's lots of time for them to get back into this game.
Lita. Klingon. And Norwich not just sitting back and getting men behind the ball. They're pushing players on like Croft here. There's a challenge for these young Forest players.
I think what will disappoint them most is, you know, they had a free kick and they had a corner, and from that corner, a minute and 20 seconds later, they're one down. And Colin Calderwood will just be wondering how that's happened. Got caught out on the break.
David Kerslake behind him, who used to clean Gleen Roeder's boots when they were together at Queen's Park Rangers, and David was an apprentice, I think they called him in those days. Klinger.
Well, assistant referee is right next to that, and I'm pretty certain he's called it absolutely right. If he's not going to give a free kick, there was a little coming together there. As Anderson tries to let this ball go out, but his left foot clearly clips it.
Well, Anderson had a terrific season last season with Swansea, on loan from Liverpool. They wanted him back, I'm led to believe. He's one of the Colin Calderwood kids here at the moment. Girls' corner. Makes it straightforward. Fell again. And you wouldn't know that Norwich were playing with 10.
You wouldn't, and that's the greatest compliment you could ever pay them at this moment in time. And they must have been coming into this game relatively low on confidence, a really poor run of form, and you just wouldn't know it.
Thornhill's header. There's Kennedy. Thornhill again. There's Chambers. He'll continue this run, but he's not going to catch that.
We wondered what reaction, didn't we? We haven't had a Nottingham Forest onslaught, that's for sure. Perhaps not using the full width of the pitch as they should, maybe, to capitalise on the extra man.
Morgan. It's a challenge enough to destroy the aim.
It's working hard. Leroy Leiter in a bit of a battle with the two central defenders as that lone striker.
When you look at Leiter, and he got a hat-trick. Norwich beat Wolves 5-2. That tells you again the potential in pretty much every team in this division. But it's the side that does it more often, or the sides that do it more often, that are going to have the warmer winter. Tyson. Tyson again. Perch. The Sky's ball. And, in the end, there wasn't enough power in the header.
No, they get
Chambers.
Lots of bodies in there. That's the right back in there. It's a free header. Just can't generate anywhere near enough power.
Like it's up against Leiter. Well, if they want a goal, someone to advise them on getting goals. Neil Webb, who had a great time here as a young player. Find that the camera's on him and get a bit sleepy in those boxes. Should be out in the cold with the rest of us. What a good player he was. Went on to Manchester United, of course, and good England record. Perch. Now Anderson. And there's a good representation of Forest in the middle. And Garner! No flag. Another good save from David Marshall.
Oh, Gleen Roeder is getting really alarmed down there at how easily Forest are getting on the end of these crosses. It's another magnificent save. Garner doesn't do anything wrong. Hits it right in the corner.
And Morgan's there, but he was under challenge. Well, David Marshall was sitting on the Scotland bench, not too far away from Diego Maradona on the Argentina bench on Wednesday night, and maybe, you know, being around a great at the game has been an inspiring factor, because he's been absolutely brilliant here.
Outstanding. Some of that magic dust rubbing off on him, there's no doubt about it. That's a good header. He's at full stretch to palm that around the post.
The pass to Garner, and Anderson, can he get away here? He does! Nothing Marshall could do this time. Nottingham Forest to level. Paul Anderson.
Well, I'll tell you what, This time David Marshall gets a little bit confused with his defender. I think he's out of position as Anderson turns this. He's trying to anticipate what Anderson is going to do. Is he going to go down the outside? I mean, it's a great burst. Look where he's come from, Anderson. He keeps going, he keeps running, and he gets in behind. And once there, you think the chance is gone, but Marshall slips, and that is absolutely critical to that ball ending up in the back of the net. As Anderson turns there, in the background, Marshall falls, and he can't get up in time. It's nowhere near in the corner. I'm pretty convinced if he doesn't slip, he gives himself a chance of saving that.
And Paul Anderson's first goal for Nottingham Forest has come at a very good time to level it up from Matty Patterson's first goal of his career.
Well, they needed something, didn't they? Colin Calderwood, they hadn't been pressing Norwich, not the way he would have hoped.
I mean, I can't believe Anderson saw Marshall slip, so
No.
in the end it would have been quite a tame effort, wouldn't it?
I think it would have been, and that's the irony of football, isn't it? Marshall, that's why I thought he was out of position. I looked up to see where he was when he was diving from, the angle, and he was out of position, and that's because he slipped.
Just wonder whether it's just freezing up a little bit down at ground level. Wilson. They've been very short of goals, Nottingham Forest. They'll take whatever comes their way. Heath. Wilson trying to make something. Was a bit unlucky in the end that the ball struck Cohen. 5 minutes left in a first half that's flown by at the City Ground.
Really good tempo to the game, right from the first whistle.
John Kennedy has made an amazing recovery from injury. For Norwich, the player is on loan from Celtic. He's out of the game for 3 years, 3 whole years.
Just can't imagine how hard that would have been for the boy. Terrific for him.
Here's Bertrand, there to be hit.
And that's 2 efforts he's had. First one was very high, that one very, very dragged.
She does a lot of unselfish work, just holding there, allowing Hill to go on and Anderson to go on. This is Heath, and now Cohen, and Heath.
It's good honest play by the young man, isn't it? Because I think a leg was hung out. We know players that would have maybe taken the opportunity. It's good build-up play, gets the return ball. That's a heavy touch. Mazusi just pulls the leg out of the way just in time.
Otherwise it would have been the 8th penalty conceded. And for a moment we thought it had been earlier. So Michael Oliver made a very good decision, as impressed in this impressive first half in the Coca-Cola Championship between 2 of the struggling teams. It's been full of enterprise, full of attempts to play properly, if you like. Tied up by Kennedy. Here's Patterson. And Patterson with slip, so Bell's return pass was never on. Well, half-time. Half to remember for Matty Patterson, his first senior goal gave Norwich the lead, and for Paul Anderson, his first Nottingham Forest goal. The goal's coming after Michael Oliver, who's also impressed. The young referee had sent off Gary Doherty, but not given a penalty, despite his assistant telling him otherwise. The goalkeepers had played admirably, but a slip by David Marshall was responsible really for Anderson's goal. And Lee Camp very much in form coming into this game, has continued in that vein. But at half-time here, it is Nottingham Forest 1, Norwich City 1. Well, hardly tells the whole story, but it is 1-1. Patterson's opener cancelled out by Paul Anderson's reply. Colin Calderwood has finished the choruses of Mull of Kintyre.
Loved it, wouldn't he?
He loves the weather too. He comes from Stranraer, where it's pretty much like this more often than not, I think.
Well, he's put McCleary out on the right side of midfield. He's moved Chris Cohen in. Now we've got Anderson over on the left side.
Tyson, problem for Kennedy. Tyson's got the pace. Can he cut across him here? Well, Kennedy just got the ball and must have knocked it on to Tyson.
Well, however much Tyson doesn't like this, this is an absolutely brilliant tackle. You can see Kennedy struggling to stay with him, but he times it to perfection when he gets the look of the ricochet and gets the goal kick.
And without labouring this point too much, another good call from this 23-year-old referee, Michael Oliver. And how close was he to make it to?
Well, yeah, he's had a fine game, no doubt about it.
Normally he would be, of course, younger than most of the players, but not in this game. Morgan. Bell. Kept onside, but it's run out of room.
Not the best ball for him in the world. He's worked really hard on it on his own up there, Leroy Lita.
And they'll need him to continue doing that, Norwich City. Cleary chasing his own header.
And going back to Tyson, it is something you expect more from Nottingham Forest, looking to thread him in behind those central defenders, because he has got that pace to trouble them.
Cleary gets a cross in. Kennedy's clearance isn't a very good one, back by Chambers. Kennedy's there again. Done by Ryan Bertrand.
It's another slip as he went to take that cross, Chambers. I wonder if there are going to be any more crucial ones. We've already seen one.
And they do have undersoil heating here. It was on last night, but it's not on during the match. We're told from the technicians here at the City Ground the pitch temperature is about 7 degrees, so they're not slipping through frost. The firmness of pitches these days, Don, is something we have to deal with week in and week out. The players, more importantly, have to deal with week in, week out.
It's vital. Getting the footwear right as well on these modern pitches can be very difficult at times.
It's a miscue by Morgan. For Lita something to be interested in, but he just eased Chambers out unfairly. In support of Lita, David Bell was just tapping his shoulder to suggest that that's what the front man used. And Tyson given the chance to chase again, and Kennedy cut across him then.
Well, the assistant referee on this side had an absolute perfect view of that. He was looking right across it and he kept his flag down.
Jason Tyus, important contribution for the referee then. And Tyson already has accounted for one of the starting centre-backs.
Well, you can see what Forest are trying to do. They're trying to utilise that pace, and Kennedy's arms up, but I'm not really sure. It would have been difficult for the assistant to give that from so far away, even though he was looking down. The referee certainly couldn't give it.
Well, as you will well know from personal experience, Don, defenders have been getting away for that sort of thing since the game was invented.
Many
really.
moons, yeah.
Wilson to Garner. Joe Garner again. Big pressure on him.
They had spells in the first half where they kept the ball really well, Norwich, even though they have only got 10 men. They haven't done that so far. I know we're only sort of 5 minutes into the second half. And when they've got that ball, they really must look not to give it away cheaply.
Push on Ghana. McCleary. The deflection was kind to David Marshall.
The deflection could have taken the ball anywhere, couldn't it? Positive run from McCleary.
Later. It's going to be a nail-biting second half. Few cents for everyone connected with Norwich City. The AGM recently, Delia Smith spoke out very passionately about whether other investors would come in. She would be happy to accommodate them or even sell out completely. Really cares about the club. And we'll be worried about the situation developing for Forest and for Chambers. Oh, it just needed a touch from Tyson.
Well, that's why he knows. That's why he's bent over, because we're right behind that shot. We could always see that it was being dragged wide, but a little touch from Tyson there, and Forest are in front. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He's there. He just completely misses the ball. It's another great opportunity. He had one in the first half with a header early on. He'll be wondering how he's not on the score sheet here tonight.
More punch from Tyson. Bertrand. Bell. Now Croft. Ghana chasing this. Amazusi has looked out of place as a centre-back since the sending off. Anderson. Time for Amazusi again. Fall there by Anderson. He was a bit slow to pick himself back up. And in the bottom corner on the far side, he's getting back into position now. Chambers. Nice and a little push on him by Kennedy that he got away with the centre-back, Klingon. Control it again, the Northern Ireland international. Bell. One of those many players that Luton Town had to let go for financial reasons. Attempt to get Tyson on his way from the throw this time. And Klingon coming back to help out Kennedy. It's a corner.
Grand battle, isn't it, developing between Tyson and Kennedy. More in it, you feel? More to come.
Tyson's next job is to try and inconvenience the goalkeeper without giving away a free kick. Steered away by Bell, whose job is to be the front man there, screen if you like. Got caught out one of the Swansea goals last weekend. Heath. Wedged forward by Morgan. His positional sense out manoeuvring Tyson that time. Good turn by Bertrand. Excellently done by Klingon, and there's no lack of self-belief from Norwich. Maybe not quite so hefty in their attacking play in this second half so far, but here's Croft. Klingon again. Patterson. Come back to Omazusi. He's prepared to take on Garner. Rescue by Wilson. Klingon fighting for it. Cowan did well. Hartard skipper. Bell. Tyson got a foot to it. It was a bit lucky that it ran to Patterson. If you missed the earlier news, Nottingham Forest dropped to the bottom of the Coca-Cola Championship, with Doncaster getting a point earlier today. There's a fair bit at stake here, including the difficulty of playing with expectation of having the extra man. The crowd have been very supportive to this young Forest team in difficult circumstances this season, but you can understand them expecting progress to turn this 1-1 into a victory.
Well, we all know how difficult it can be to play against 10 men, particularly 10 men that get themselves really organised. Norwich done pretty well. I mean, the second half's a little bit scrappy in the main so far, and that'll suit Norwich, certainly more than it will Nottingham Forest.
Just working away, trying to get a cross in. Misjudged by Omazusi, but it's Garner chasing him and not Tyson. Omazusi the chance to recover, but Garner certainly will have his own qualities. He likes to tackle. You can't say that about every front man. Klingon. Klingon looks up. There's only Leiter to try and find through the middle, but he's got Bell in the wider area. Bertrand, Klingon. Didn't go to ground. Had he done so, he might have got a free kick out of that. Instead, Forest counter-attack through Anderson. Tyson, take on Omazusi. And a free kick's given against Nathan Tyson.
Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Good race. Two boys full of absolute pace, but as they're coming together here, there's a, wow, I suppose 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. And then he falls on the ball and Forest want a penalty. I mean, Tyson's got his arm, and then there's a little clash of legs, and Michael Oliver's close enough to see that, and that's what he deems free kick.
Well, the injury break gives us a chance to remind you, if you missed the goalmouth action, great volley by Patterson from a lovely cross by David Bell. We've got a booking for that celebration, incidentally. And then Paul Anderson after a slip by the unfortunate David Marshall, who otherwise has repelled anything that's come at him.
Worryingly for Forest, there hasn't been anything propelled at him for a little while now.
Garner. There's Kennedy. Leiter can't keep it, not easy, as increasingly exposed outlet up front. Again, he's penalised this time. He's a very strong-minded character, Leroy Leiter, with a great sense of purpose about his career. Lovely turn by Anderson. Tyson's gone near post. Omazusi didn't deal with it. Another great save by Marshall, a good save I should say, as Bryan Gunn, the former Norwich goalkeeper, applauds one of his successors here. It was a good, decent height for him.
Yeah, it was. It's a much better play, isn't it? Great skill from Anderson, then he pulls the ball back, it goes behind everybody. Norwich don't clear it, it's Bell. A decent strike, but as you said, nice height.
Out comes Marshall again, Cohen.
That's a big save again prior to that. Been in the action, no doubt about it. Garner strikes the ball really well here, it just rises, and that's a nice height, but still got to be dealt with.
Bryan Gunn revisiting the scene of his last Premier League game. He broke his leg here in December 1994, and without him for the rest of that season, Norwich were relegated. Tyson. Kennedy's got to use his experience.
Standing firm so far, isn't he?
It's a fascinating battle, because when Tyson gets himself against Kennedy, you know it's a foot race. Poor John Kennedy, 3 years out with injury, just feeling his way back. He's going to come second. Not so clear-cut with Omozusi, who has got Premier League pace. The player on loan from Fulham.
It's been a decent game, hasn't it? Lots and lots of attempts, mainly from the home team. Colin Calderwood will be happy with that. And they've worked David Marshall, as we've seen, but he's stood up to the test in the main, apart from that unfortunate slip.
Well, Gleen Roeder deciding that, not maybe deciding, that Omozusi was down for an injury. That, he feels he could carry on. Mark Fotheringham has been captaining the side, but has been substituted when a starter in recent games, and went into a local paper saying he feels that Gleen Roeder had lost a bit of faith in him.
It's a bold statement, isn't it? I've seen a lot of...
Maybe it's reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to get the manager.
That's very clever, isn't it? Yeah.
It's hardly a protest of William Gallas like proportions, is it?
No. It's a big thing now, of course. They've lost the pace of Omozusi.
Well, Fotheringham has gone into midfield. That's his beat, really. So now we have yet again a reshaped back line for Gleen Roeder. And Klingen, who was the captain after Doherty went off, has passed the armband to Fotheringham. So there's a protocol being observed here.
Absolutely right.
But Sammy Klingen has now got to concentrate, not just on playing the game, but playing a game in a different position. He's
centre half.
That's centre back, yeah.
I'm not sure how often he's had to do that. Big job on his hands.
Klingon for Klingen. Norwich City. You've got to stop these puns from me, Don, by the way.
Comes with the territory, doesn't it?
But not too often.
I think Gleen Roeder is going to be fairly happy with the way this second half has panned out in the main. Forest just lost their way a little bit. I think on occasion they're going too direct. They're looking for the pace of Tyson, maybe a little bit too quickly. In the first half, felt they were building more.
Croft wins a corner for Norwich City. Gleen Roeder's worked very hard on Lee Croft's athleticism, his stamina. Bell to take the corner, who set up the goal. That's for Lita. Rather scrambled away by Nottingham Forest. Patterson. Lita, he knew a man was available wide, but he couldn't control the ball to play it to him. Tyson. There's Sammy Klingen's first real test as a centre-back. He passed it.
That's great anticipation. And got a Forest player down over on the far side.
Another one down as Garner lost his footing. Morgan. Different sort of game in the second half. As Klingen clears from Garner's cross. And Oliver pleased, in fact, to spot a free kick. And now for Chris Cohen there can be some attention. I mentioned at the start he was born in Norwich. He actually only lived there for 6 months.
You said about Klingen being called into action. He just reads the little flick from Tyson, gets there very quickly, and then there's their ankles that come together, and that's a nasty little twist of that left ankle.
Slipped by Kennedy and Tyson, challenged by Bertrand, blocked by Klingen, and Marshall able to come and get it.
Well, once again, he's the nearly man, isn't he, Nathan Tyson? All the good work there. It's just that final bit of composure at the crucial moment. He had options there.
He hasn't played much at this level, has he? I mean, when he started at Reading, he didn't make that much of an impact. Then he went to Wycombe, where he did, in the lower divisions, helping Nottingham Forest get out of League One.
You can see when it all clicks and all comes together, what a handful he would be for anybody.
Croft.
He's done well there. Boxed in, wriggled his way, got his team a corner. You know how poor they've been at defending these. It would be a real irony, wouldn't it?
If they score, yeah. Maybe trying to get towards the near post, and Camp has been very much in control. And understandably, trying to drop one for Tyson to chase.
It's a big ask
at the player.
Yeah, it's a big ask from the goalkeeper's kick. High ball.
Perch's header. Into the last quarter of the game, and there's no doubt who would get more satisfaction from this should it finish 1-1. It would be Gleen Roeder and Norwich City. Even better than that, here's Croft. Bell. He's the cross with either foot. Lita had to make the run to the front post. That's what the coaching manuals tell you.
That's it. Well, they were just short on numbers, purely and simply, Norwich. They just couldn't get up enough bodies in support. It's a great ball in.
Wilson's got another go at Kennedy here. It's behind McCleary. Cohen has recovered from injury. And a shot that was veering towards the top corner, but Marshall again came up with an answer.
He did indeed. It's a great play again from Tyson, pulls it back, and this time Cohen decides not to hit it first time. It's a good decision. It's flying in, and Marshall has got to deal with it, and does so very well.
Forest corner. That's Perch.
Well, he's going to be disappointed. Just looking for a little glancing header. Gets way too much on it. Well, they've struggled for goals, haven't they, over the course of the season, Forest? It's got better in recent times. And they've hit the target and worked the goalkeeper many times tonight. He's been equal to it, apart from the
goals
ones.
are still their top scorer.
Yes, they are. Tells you everything you need to know, really.
By McCleary. Judged by Klingen. Having to go to centre-back Sammy Klingen, but having to head the ball away with stitches in that damaged brow.
He won't mind that. He's got a lot of family over. Big day for him today against his former team.
And against his former golf partner, and Chris Cohen, who's on the ball here. And Klingen actually dispossesses. Cohen might get a mention afterwards. Successfully done by Chambers. Tyson, Garner. Trying to get it back. Tyson was offside.
Just too eager to get in behind. This time the Norwich defenders.
Are they in danger, Don, of becoming a one-trick pony here, Nottingham Forest? They're looking for Tyson with every opportunity. Even then, when Garner's got the ball straight away to try and drop it in
behind. And we called it earlier. The second half, they've definitely been too direct for my liking. I thought they got the width thing right towards the back end of the first half, where they were spreading the play, making it harder for Norwich. But it's all a little bit more condensed in the second half. I think that's as a direct result of this early long ball that they're looking for.
Patterson cutely done. Fotheringham's ball for Leiter to chase. Croft will get this after Morgan's challenge. In towards Leiter. Fotheringham's going in. Oh! It's an amazing goal. But Norwich City's luck has turned for the better here. Chambers shakes his head. And it's ended up in his net.
It's an absolute disaster, isn't it? There's no real danger. It's great build-up play. Leiter makes the run. It's decent defending initially by Morgan, but Lee Croft does ever so well, helps the ball back into the danger area, and communication. Chambers tries to hook it away with his right foot, heels the ball back onto his player, Lee Camp. Absolutely no chance, and it's Chris Cohen, I think, that it comes off last.
4 in the box for Forest. Klingen has read the point of danger again.
Been excellent since he's been back there, hasn't he, Sammy Klingen?
He's pretty good in midfield before that.
Yeah, he was. He's had a great game.
The curse of the X. Nottingham Forest. Certainly recognisable, Lee Martin. He's had some stick from his fellow Forest youngsters for their hairstyle, but doesn't deter him.
Well, I can't comment on hairstyles, Martin.
No, you certainly can't. Keeps you warm, though, Don, that's for sure. Perch. Croft did very well on the third goal of the game.
For the first time, you hear the crowd just getting a little bit frustrated. There's a serious lack of width out there in this second half performance. Not getting the ball out wide.
Tyson. And he slipped again. Marshall. Let's try and sort out this absolutely balmy own goal.
Chambers needs to flick it. And it comes back off Chris Cohen and hits Chambers again on the knee. Slightest of touches. Of course, neither of them are going to want it. But one of them's going to have it.
All this coming after Norwich City at 0-0 were reduced to 10 men. Chambers. And it is very edgy, the atmosphere at the City ground now. Simmer ball. And 12 minutes is a long time for a team that's short on wins to defend a 2-1 position, and a very short time for a team that's short on wins to try and get an equaliser.
Absolutely.
Martin. Anderson taking matters into his own hand again. Again. Who else? Sammy Klingen.
It's all going his way, isn't it?
It's been a big Sam today.
Not half. Super defending. What he's doing really well is reading where Forrest are wanting to put that ball. As he clears it, gets the look as well.
Played almost 100 games for Nottingham Forest. From January 2006 to the end of last season.
Morgan, Tyson setting off. That's the ball they're looking for again. Bertrand intercepted, but good work by Anderson for Forest. Chambers comes loose to Patterson, and Bell letting Croft to run. Good work by Cohen. Cleary goes for the pass. Anderson, Chambers, Cohen, and there's another corner for Nottingham Forest.
Well, it's better. They got it wide on the right, switched the play, got it wide on the left, trying to get the cross in. They've got plenty of bodies in there, and they've left 1v1 at the back.
Guess who headed it away? Klingon finding Croft, and Norwich doing enough to get themselves up the field.
Not going to be in a rush either to take this Norwich City. And Nottingham Forest, you do feel they need to take more risks, more gambles now, coming into the closing stages, push more bodies forward.
Morgan. Norwich won't be in a hurry to take this. Summerbore's throw. Opened his Forest scoring account at Bristol City last weekend. That game finished 2-2. 8 minutes to try and come up with a repeat. Forest here in front of their own fans in the East Midlands. Martin trying to get through the middle. Up goes the flag. Willing run, but in the end too eager.
Colin Calderwood saying pass it. It needed to be earlier. He made his run initially. Martin, and Wes Morgan delayed and delayed that pass. It just needs to go a little bit quicker if it's going to go there.
And Calderwood very much the boss as far as the playing side is concerned. But when decisions are made, they have a committee here, including David Pleat. Chambers.
And Michael Oliver, referee, just trying to hurry Norwich up. Certainly had it on at the end, won't he?
Forest slowing things down when Gunn left it, but he was trying to get forward. It will be a kick in the teeth for this proud football club if they end up empty-handed here, but what a bonus it would be for Gleen Roeder, who must have feared the worst. 4 consecutive away defeats. They player sent off so early. 4 games without a win in the league.
We were thinking we'd take a point, wouldn't we, halfway through this second half? Point would have been good. On course for 3 at the minute. They can hang on.
Clement. And the challenge in on Martin. Dropped back too deep. It'll be a temptation now. Norwich. Klingon didn't deal with that one. This is McCleary. And Croft gets the better of him, and then again Michael Oliver very well placed to see that Cohen had come across the line, and it was a cynical foul to stop a breakaway.
He was going to see yellow for it. And you spoke about McCleary, about being a little bit raw, didn't you, when he came on, and that was a clear example of that. Took completely the wrong decision, turning back out and getting caught. That's why Chris Cohen had to bring Lee Croft down.
You can't complain about the yellow card. He felt exposed, Cohen.
Yeah.
And it was because McCleary lost the ball, and it is hard for non-league players. They don't get the training, the expertise that comes through those early years in full-time professional football that the young men we must call scholars these days do.
Well, you put that into the fact that it's a really high-pressure situation. Makes it doubly hard to make the right decision.
It's the highest challenge on him by Bertrand.
Drew the foul, didn't he? But it's hurt.
Anderson quick to get up and get on with it, because Nottingham Forest need just that.
What they need now is a quality delivery.
Cohen trying to provide it, straight into the gloves. The goalkeeper who's played very well today, bar one slip, the one moment, and the man who coaches him, Tommy Wright, former Northern Ireland international, of course, for a while. I think he was here for 3.5 years as a Nottingham Forest goalkeeper.
One of the fittest goalkeepers in history as well, Tommy Wright.
He wasn't when he was a Nottingham Forest player. He was out for most of those 3.5 years.
I meant
he only
running
played
wise.
13 games for the club. But when he was playing, yes, very fit. Anderson trying to place it again, but do a bit more than that at this stage as Norwich look to see it out here and get themselves up the table.
It would just buy them a little tiny bit of breathing space, wouldn't it, if they can hang on here.
Tyson has threatened to be the saviour. It's just been a threat and not fulfilment for Colin Calderwood. Norwich's throw, 2 minutes plus added time.
There have been a lot of big performances from the men in black, Norwich players out there. Lots of good performances, and Gleen Roeder is going to be absolutely thrilled.
And this was a team that led in 3 goals in 5 minutes either side of half-time last weekend at home to Swansea. For almost 90% of this game, played with 10 men and shown all the true grit that was obviously lacking in some of their recent away games as well. But it isn't done yet. Here's Garner. McCleary.
Forest gets something right at the very last. Bertrand plays safe.
Oh, it's better play from Forest. And Bertrand did the right thing. Can't afford to take any chances now.
Vital corner delivered by Anderson. Chambers has a bit of a swipe at it. Litter trying to help Norwich forward. A few boos of discontent.
Poor corner, really poor corner.
Gary Doherty is not allowed to come back to the dugout, of course, having been sent off, as in our interview room watching the pictures.
And saying a little prayer.
Anderson. We're heading for added time at the City ground. Cleary makes the wrong decision again. There'll be 3 added minutes. Croft. Norwich want to keep the ball if they can here. Bell. And Kennedy made to scamper. Not going to keep it quite like that, but at least he's got it where it's going to take a bit of retrieving. Morgan. Flicked by Anderson. Kennedy in crisply and effectively. And it's Bell's header. Lead to strength. Back to Bertrand. 2 added minutes left.
You can't say Forest haven't had their chances in this match. Plenty of them. And it's that lack of goals again that's going to
we've
possibly come back.
Spotted up Marshall's saves, but many of the better ones were in the first half, really. It defended as a team well, but here's Kennedy and Tyson. There's a cameo of the frustration that Nottingham Forest are feeling, players, management, fans alike.
It's a real shame, isn't it? This team of youngsters put a hard shift in, but it's just succumbed to a little bit of pressure towards the end. Wrong decisions made, opportunities are begging.
Leiter, Patterson, the splendid Klingon. Cohen gets a foot in, McCleary, push by Croft. Maybe this is the last chance for Nottingham Forest, certainly recognised by a line of defenders going forward here. Chambers, Morgan.
The quality's got to be right, though. Hasn't been right.
And Garner going in. Believe they're there for a famous victory. Haven't won here in the league since a Premier League success, the very first Premier League season, 92-93. City's last league away win at Nottingham Forest. They're on the verge of ending that run in the most unlikely of circumstances. They're supposed to be a soft touch away from home.
Not today. Been outstanding. Many individual outstanding performances.
And there it is. Norwich City have only their second away victory of the season, and they've done it with 10 men. Gleen Roeder's criticised players, and from the boardroom down to the boot room, it's a thrilling success. Shared by some 1,500 fans who woke up to snow in East Anglia this morning, but it's Nottingham Forest who felt the chill here.
has been a Fox Sports presentation.